Hello, everyone. How are we all doing? Good afternoon, and welcome to today's Monday training where we talk about how to navigate and communicate change as a CEO. First of all, I want to say happy new month for those of us who we haven't chatted in a while. And this is our first time speaking. I want to say welcome to those who have just joined the group, and it's your very first time of experiencing this Monday talks with me. Um, just to give you a brief overview of what these Monday talks are about, and the benefits of being a part of this training. So basically, it's these trainings are for elite CEOs who are looking to boost their visibility, who want to get more clients, who want to scale their business to the next level. This is where you hang out, right? And today I will be sharing with you a very huge problem that most CEOs definitely have issues with, they experience on a daily basis. And the topic is right there: how to navigate and communicate change as a CEO. Before we go on, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. I would like for you to, if you're listening to me right now, you're just joining through, or you are watching the replay, I'd like for you to feel free to communicate using the chat section. I'd like for us to be as engaging as possible, where you're able to, right now say hi. Okay, if you listen to me, and let me know where you are listening to me from. Okay, so drop hi in the comment section and let me know what part of the world that you are joining me from. I'd like to get to know you. Okay, so feel free to make it a habit to use the chat section there, and that way it will be a habit that you'll be able to incorporate, to be able to engage and network with people also within the group. Okay, so feel free to drop your say hi. If you're watching for the first time, also let me know as well that it's your first time actually being a part of the Monday trainings. And if you are going to be watching the replay, you just seeing this now, and this is a replay, right? Just feel free to write out the hashtag replay there, and that way I'll know that you were able to catch up on the replay rather than the live session. Okay, so do that. Let me know where you are watching this from. Okay, I'd like to know, and also feel free to let me know what sort of business that you currently run as a CEO or business owner of your organization. So let me know right there in the comment section, because I'd like to know. Okay, good. So back to why we are here. Okay, how to navigate it and communicate change as a CEO. That's one of the things we're going to be looking at today, right? It boils down to the fact that right now we are filled with lots of uncertainties around us. Uncertainties about the economy, uncertainties about work, uncertainties about life in general, uncertainties about health as well, affecting our employees and all that. And we're like thinking what's going to happen next, right? Changes are bound to happen in the world, right? Especially with us being right now in digital era, things are changing. Things in the industry are changing, where we're looking at industry trends are literally changing, market trends are changing as well. And because there are these changes or factors that affect these changes, right? It also means that your business strategies as well, that should be getting you pumped up or towards achieving your goals or the KPIs you've set in place, your vision and all that, it needs to definitely be altered in such a way that it's looking at the new market trends, the new industry trends. Okay, so when we talk about changes, it could vary, whether it has to do with you replacing your legacy systems, you probably changing some processes that your employees are currently used to, but needs to be changed probably when it comes to, let's say, for example, customer service needs to be changed, right? Because looking at your competitors, they are having this mad, amazing customer service experience you're giving the customers, and it's making you lose customers. People are they prefer the nice treatment they're getting from your competitors, and it's attracting your clients to them, and you're like, what do I need to do to be able to retain, to have a higher retention rate within the business and attract more, right? And that's where altering your business strategies and processes will need to come in play. Okay, so whatever scenarios, right, chances are your business will need to undergo change. There will always have to be change one way or the other, and that's where transformation comes in. So you hear companies talk about transformation, right? So whether it's a small scale transformation or something that has to do with a large scale transformation, that has opportunity to improve your business performance and internal processes. Okay, so changes are paramount to happen. So if you are the CEO of your company, the question is, when it comes to change, how are you able to communicate this change, right? Within the organization, amongst leaders, amongst your employees. How are you able to do that? And bear in mind that change is really difficult, I tell you. Now, when it comes to creating a change process, right? Let me tell you that it's very possible to create a change process, like you create your model. It's nice, exciting, it's good. You can see the possibilities of the change happening. You can see the results and how they are impacting your KPIs, your vision, and all that. You're like, this is it. This is what will work. But one of the things that could make a very well constructed change plan from crumbling to the ground is if the people, basically, if the people who are supposed to implement the changes haven't bought into the vision of the plan, of the change plan. They don't understand the reason why there's a change in the first place. They don't understand the impact that this change would have within the organization, within the what they're doing and all that. If there is no clarity, right, and there's no buy-in, that change is likely to fail. Okay, now let me share with you one of the examples of something that happens, an example of a scenario where there's a change that probably goes wrong, right? Let's say, for instance, right, you are probably leading a company where you actually want to partner up with, or probably doing merger with an organization, right? And then obviously within your company, everyone's excited about new opportunities that your merge would have and bring to the organization. Like, you write out the contracts, the other company reviews, they approve, they sign it, you're excited about this new merge, right? It's communication has been passed down to your organization, everyone, the top leaders and managers and employees, different departments, about how this is going to impact and up level performance and all that, how it's going to bring about lots of new service lines to the organization. And everyone is excited, right? Everyone's in a very good place. Um, and then the merge happens, and then you then have an extra, let's say, 2,000 employees from the other organization who are then under your organization now. But then you could feel the energy from these employees that it's not looking right. They're not pleased with what's going on, and they're unsure of the changes that will impact them. And probably if they feel uncertain about whether that's going to impact their jobs, their roles, how, lots of uncertainties everywhere sort of create some sort of fear. And because there's fear there and there's uncertainty, that will also impact productivity, right? Performance, because no one is clear about how this is going to impact them, because there hasn't, been a very good communication towards them for them to understand how to change and impact them. Now, that is what went wrong. What went wrong was the fact that there was no good communication to ensure that they are involved, all right, in the change process. Now, change happens really fast, And the question is, are you ready? Because being in the digital era right now, lots of things are popping up, lots of tools are being created digitally that could, optimize and improve and performance at work, right? Whether it's a CRM tool that needs to be changed up or integrated with something, implementing new enterprise software within your organization, adding new service lines, right? Change is bound to occur speedily. Now, the question is, how are you able to see that change is adopted within your organization? First of all, I want you to understand that it's the people side of change that makes things quite complicated because people aren't, it's not easy to actually make people change, right? But when you have a process or workflow within your organization where people are actually used to doing, they've worked on this for years, they have perfected it, they are also looking forward to that next promotion down the line or that next increase in salary because they know that they've got this high performance going for them. And they are coming here to say, right, we are going to change a few things, which will involve learning new tool, using new tools to work, right? Which might involve changing up the way they work, probably changing the reporting lines or methods of reporting and all that. Now that could probably take a downturn if that's not done properly, and that might affect performance. And it is your role as the CEO and leader of the organization to ensure that there's a successful change management approach that will be used within the organization. Now it doesn't have to be you leading that change and planning and all that, but you could also help to direct, but you want to get someone who is a specialist in change management that could help support where you are the CEO that has a vision, letting them know about the vision of the organization and where you want that to go, and then they're the ones to also see for manage through and see that people within certain levels of the organization are actually following through the changes, but it has to be in some sort of incremental style rather than big bang change. No one actually copes with big bang change, but it has to be an incremental process. Now, let me share with you one of the reasons why changes fail in an organization. All right. Sometimes changes I feel because sometimes some leaders like CEOs might be like, right, things are not working right now, we're not generating revenue, what is going on, right? And what they do is they then try and see how to focus their attention on the things that are not working fine, to start working on that. And sometimes that jeopardizes things and you don't really see the high performance taking place. If you look at high performing organizations, you will see that they do things slightly differently. So what they do is that they actually focus on doing the most important things right. And then the things that are working fine, the organization will focus on that, right? Because it's the most important, right? So that they keep the momentum going. And then the things that are not working fine, they then try and work on that in incremental steps, like over time. Okay, that's how they maintain that high performance within the organization, and that's something you want to do. You want to stay clear away from overzealous leadership and rather focus on being strategic with how you're ensuring that your business or your employees are constantly high performing. Okay, at the same time, you want to stay clear from seeing change as a threat, right? Rather, I want to see change as an opportunity for so many things, an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for transformation, an opportunity to scale, right? You want to see that it's not just you who is seeing change as an opportunity, but you're able to communicate that same thing down to your employees so they understand the reason behind the proposed change, they understand the benefits behind the proposed change, and they will see it as, they won't see that as a threat at all. They won't see that as a threat to their jobs or to their earnings or to the opportunity for promotions or to their it won't be seen as a threat to lower their productivity and performance, right? That's literally what you want to do as the leader and the CEO of your organization. All right. And And sometimes not being transparent as a leader in terms of the communication could also make change to fail in your organization. So you want to stay clear away from what I call opaque leadership, and you want to adopt a transparent style of leadership where you are able to effectively communicate change, as the CEO, transfer that down to your line of senior leadership team as well, and then to the rest of the organization as well. All right, so that they have the right information and that explains a proposed change. Okay. Now, the next thing that makes changes fail is not actually taking feedback from your employees. And that's one of the things that affects change is when you're trying to, adopt a change process, but you're not involving your employees within this change process. All right. So, not inviting your employees to make an input in the change process you're putting together might probably, make the change fail within organizations. Well, it's very critical that when you are trying to incorporate change in your organization, that your employees are involved. And there's certain ways you can get them involved. Okay, one of it could be that you might want to gather information through some sort of survey, right? So you're creating your survey where you have certain questions in there that probably have part of what the changes will look like, and then get feedback from them to see how they're able to cope with it. If things like if those changes are adopted in the organization, what they need to actually cope with it, how that affects the process right now, and getting that feedback on a lower level, that's the employees giving you the feedback, right, will help you to also look through the change process to see what are the pros, what are the cons, what will be affected now, what level of impact will that be within your organization, how are you able to mitigate such risks. You also want to probably go to look at the risk logs for previous changes that have been made so far in your organization to look at the risks that we highlighted, but also at the same time look at the mitigation plans so that you're able to also incorporate that while you're trying to make the changes within the organization. Remember, I mentioned changes could take any form. It could probably take form of you changing your tools, your CRM tools that you use right now, your business management tools. It could be digital change, it could be process change, right? And it definitely means that if there's change, it also means that you want to take into consideration the amount of training that will be done for your employees. So it's about cost in terms of money, what your expenses that will be spent on training your employees, and also cost in terms of time spent as well. So you want to take into consideration those when you are, that's about training your employees to be able to cope with the upcoming changes within the organization. Also, sometimes surveys might not be, if it's not useful, or if you try survey and that doesn't work, what you also want to do is create what I call a force field analysis. So in terms of force field analysis, it's more about looking at what are the force fields or the things that may have triggered the need for a change in the first place. What triggered that? So what wasn't working before and why wasn't it working? Okay. And then seeing what could be done to actually make it work. And now if these are all written out like down this and that's communicated to the employees, they are able to see the benefits and the reason why the change is needed, but also at the same time want to know what would change look like once it's been implemented, right? How will that affect what I'm doing now? What do I need to stop doing in terms of my processes or what we're doing right now? What will be added to what we're doing now? How will that impact us in terms of performance? How will that impact us in terms of time spent on certain tasks? Will that be longer? Will that be shorter? Are we saving time? What would saving time look like, right? And quantifying that. So those are a lot of questions that could be asked around change, especially in an organization. Change could probably be results in terms of maybe you want to change your organizational culture and adopt something different, right? But then that also means looking at mapping out your current culture within your organization, see how that looks like, and then also then mapping out a you to be culture, and what that should look like. But before doing that, you want to also, after doing that, you're probably looking at the gap analysis to analyze and find out what's missing, what you want to add, what you want to subtract from that, right? There's a whole bunch of things that go on when it comes to changes in your organization as a CEO of your organization, right? And sometimes another change tool that could be used aside surveying or focus groups. So asking about creating a group of about 4 to 6 participants that probably make up people that will be affected with change from different levels, basically employees and stakeholders, senior leadership team, and then we'll come together to explain reasons for the change. All right, so looking at the concerns that have been brought up by the employees, and then sharing, some sort of leadership message right back at them to be able to understand the benefits and the impacts, basically. So these are ways that we are able to communicate changes in such a way that it will be able to be effective within your organization, where the people within your organization can listen and accept changes and start to work on it. And one of the big ways that you can start making people work on these changes is first of all looking all the way to the top. Now, if we look at the hierarchy within an organization, from the top we have the CEO, right, or the business owner, and then we have maybe CEO, who's like the chief operating officer, or the CFO, chief financial officer, and then we have managers, and then we have team leaders, and then the rest are the team members, right? And different units or departments of the organization. Now, the question right now in terms of making an effective change as the CEO of your organization is that people will definitely want to look up to the leaders, right? And so that starts from you as CEO. You want to be able to show an exemplary image when it comes to change in the organization. So you want to almost see yourself as a role model or influencer within your organization to show others how they are able to cope with the change and adopt the change. But also at the same time, it's not just you, but you also want to keep key people within your organizations that can be seen as influencers as well, to also emulate such model, and also show people how they are able to cope with change. Because again, I mentioned change is very difficult. But you also want to show some sort of role model, and get influencers as well within the organization, because again, within the organization, people look up to people that they emulate their character, how they work, and all that. So you want to identify these people who will help others to be able to emulate this change, right? At the same time, it's also a strategic plan, strategic change in such a way that when you have meetings or like organizational meetups on a weekly basis, you could do that whatever timing you do your meetings with your organization. You want to ensure that these changes are verbally spoken out, right, on a regular, so that people keep hearing it, and when they hear it, it starts embedding them. Bear in mind that the human mind is so difficult to unlearn something that they've learned and mastered. It is very, very difficult for that, right? Let's take for instance, I'm not so sure those of you if you're in the UK, but if you're in the UK, let's say you were because in the UK they drive on the left hand side, I believe. So if you're used to driving on the right hand side, other countries, like came to the UK to drive, right? That means unlearning whatever you knew about driving on the right hand side and try to get used to driving on the left hand side, trying to get used to the fact that rather than giving way to traffic on the right hand side, it's not going to be on your, I mean, sorry, on your left hand side, it will not be on the right hand side, like literally unlearning everything, right? Thank you, Import Journal. Thank you so much for giving me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support and love there. So thank you, thank you. So yeah, another example is take for instance, you are used to learn how to drive an automatic car, and then you travel to a different country. You go into a rental car rental office to pick your car that you ordered, right? You find out that it's a manual car, right? So it means that you might have to start unlearning what you knew about driving an automatic car and try figuring out how the manual car works, right? So again, when it comes to changes in an organization and people are used to a certain process or a certain tool, and then you're introduced to something new, it definitely means unlearning what they've been used to, trying to unlearn that, and then trying to then adopt the new ways of working or the new ways of doing things in the organization. All right, and there are different levels at which changes happen. We have the organizational level, we have the group level, we have the individual level. Okay, and so again, you want to bear in mind that although you have factored in these things for changes, you want to ensure that you still also have patience. So you want to be able to give people a certain period of time for them to be able to let the change play out and be much effective. So you're giving room for mistakes, you're giving room for people to understand that the work environment is also a learning space to learn, right? So you are also giving them the support that they need to adopt these new changes. Because as people adopt these changes, new mistakes could happen, right? But you want to give a bit of grace to that at some acceptable level, but also give them the support they need to adjust and also incorporate these changes. Okay, so I do hope that all that I've shared with you today has been very much helpful to you on how you're able to navigate and communicate change as a CEO to your leadership team, to your departments, to your organization in general. All right, so if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the comment section, and I'll be always happy to see how to pick that up and have a one-to-one chat with you. If you'd like to have a chat with me, feel free to come into slide into my DM, send me a message, say hi, let me know what you like to talk about, okay? And we'll see how we can organize a very quick call for us to get to know each other and see how I can be of help to you. But thank you so much for your time, guys. I'm so pleased that we're able to do this today during our Monday training session, and we will be having this every Mondays at 1 p.m. British Standard Time. So feel free to mark that in your calendar and to be notified for the next training session. So feel free to lock your eyes and ears in the group, because the next training topic will be sent out and will be in the event section, so you are able to see that and look forward to the next training session. So thank you so much for your time. Take care and bye.